Hey folks, so look, what I want to talk about in this video is looking at, as it says here, what is today's gateway to learning in the flow of work? Now, learning in the flow of work is basically a concept that Josh Bersin from the Josh Bersin Academy came up with. I believe he was the first one, correct me if I'm wrong, in the comments. And it's all about meeting people where they are in terms of content they need to solve issues in the moment, and then how do we take that to scale that to an intentional learning model of helping to create new skills and behaviors, or at least that's how I interpret that anyway. So what I want to talk about here is that the game has changed in terms of how people are accessing content and how we can surface content as people in the L&D industry. And I like to call this, as what I've got on my screen here, as the workplace learning architecture for today. Now, this is actually a screenshot from a talk that I did at Learning Technologies in 2022. So you can actually view the full video of the talk. It should be out on the Learning Technologies site too, and linked at my site at stillthesethoughts.com. So look, what this is showcasing here is that the common point of entry for people to get answers to their problems is not your LXP, your LMS, or whatever you call your learning platform. It's actually in these components of Slack and Teams, which are our collaboration tools, which have become insanely popular since the pandemic first hit our world in 2020. They were big before, but they've just scaled out massively. And what people are doing nowadays is actually looking for the answers on these tools. So whether that is asking other people in the organization, whether that's asking groups, there is an opportunity there where you can do what effectively I call fish where the fish swim. So basically what I mean by that is, if people are congregating or hanging out in these areas, why are you trying to push them to another tool or another platform they don't want to use? So a more kind of idealistic way, you might say, is to look at how can you integrate all of this content that you've already got from resources, courses, information from people, information from external sources like Google, and pump that through to these collaboration tools. So essentially looking at a model of surfacing that content into where people are. So instead of saying to someone, if they jump onto Slack and ask a question in Slack, instead of them not finding the answer or being pushed to a learning tool, how can you make use of tools like workflows in Slack, or to use the Slackbot functionality, which actually gives people either an answer to the question or, if need be, points them in the right direction. So then what you're doing is fundamentally cutting out that learning platform interface, but still using all the content on there. So it's not about getting rid of your platform, it's about actually being smarter in how do we surface that content to people and allow them to get it where they are instead of pushing them through more steps. So look, that's just a few thoughts from me on that kind of space. Like I say, this is my preferred way of building kind of a learning tech architecture today, because you've got to meet people where they are, and you've got to make the tools that you've already have, or the tools that you're purchasing, fit that purpose and connect that into surface content to people in the places that they're hanging out. So again, as always, if you want more information on this, go to stillthesethoughts.com, where there's more content covering how to build your own digital learning architecture and how to build great digital learning resources as well. And of course, any comments, questions, drop them below and I would do my best to answer.